an idea, and yeah, enjoying it
Yeah,
still. I hope all the rest of the listeners are as well. Hopefully, have
absolutely.
a few more additions this week. So yeah,
Yeah, we'll try and get ourselves to put in two podcasts out at least a week. Um, one at the beginning of the week, one at the end of the week. Louis and I have both spoken to people who have done podcasts. We've said the best way to get people engaged, people listening, is just keep them rolling out. I mean, once a week was great, but we've got so many ideas. We could, yeah, we could
ideas
actually
are endless.
record. We could record for 24 hours and have a like whole month's worth of content,
It's mad, and
and we
it?
still. But yeah, so this week we're going to do something special today. But I'll just let you know about the next podcast, which will be the review of the Belgian Grand Prix.
Yes.
Today we had the sprint qualifying, which was really, really interesting. A few shocks, a few surprises. Best man probably on pole for me, but we'll talk about that on Sunday.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll talk about it Sunday after the race and something like that. But tonight we're going to do something that's a bit fun, really. Something we've probably mentioned a little bit in the past, but we're going to go into a bit more, and that's like a Mount Rushmore of Formula One drivers. So, for those who don't know what Mount Rushmore is, it's four presidents of the United States of America. So, me and Louis are going to pick four each. We haven't told each other who we've got. We could have the same people. We might disagree with things, but then after that, we're also going to do our top five teams. And what I say by that is not just like we're going to say we like Force India. We're going to say we like Force India from this is the example. We like Force India from like 2007. These were the drivers. This was the reason. So yeah, we've put a little bit of thought into this, haven't we? Look?
Yeah, it's one that I've swapped a few places around. I've looked and gone, does he? Does he not make my mush more? Does it? Yeah, I suppose he could, and then I've gone, no, he doesn't because of the. It was a lot of umming and ahhing, and yes, he does. No, he doesn't. Put him back in, take him back out. It's been a tough one, but I think the four I've got, I'm happy with. Yeah.
See,
So
my fourth person on the Mount Rushmore was crossed out about 6 times. Three was set. It
okay,
was the fourth one. So
but I was
obviously
weird
we'll
for
have.
me. My
Huh?
favourite driver of all time is not on my Mount Rushmore.
What, Niki Lauda? No,
No,
Ayrton Senna.
Jack Villeneuve.
Oh wow!
Jack Villeneuve does
Yeah,
not make my
Jack,
Mount Rushmore.
there's the first wow.
Yeah, I was like I said, I was umming and I had him in first name, favorite driver. I was like, yeah, he goes in. And then when I was looking at other drivers, I was like, okay, yeah, he goes above Jack Villeneuve. Let's drop him down one. Okay, yeah, yeah. And I was like, oh wow, he's actually fallen out of my top four. That's surprising, but
Yeah,
yeah, it doesn't make my Mount Rushmore, unfortunately.
my favorite driver doesn't make my Mount Rushmore either.
And that's the joy, it's not necessarily about your favorite drivers, is it? It's about your Mount Rushmore is not necessarily your favorite driver or the best person for you. So I think it's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure the listeners and the viewers will have a difference of opinion. They might agree with a few of ours, and then they'll be screaming, going, "What? Why? How is that not?" So, if you guys have got your Mount Rushmore, put it in the group, put it in the comments. Seriously, we love. I mean, we might actually, if we get enough comments and enough reviews, we might actually do a review podcast where we look back at people's suggestions or people's like predictions. I think that could be a good one to do actually,
Yeah, I
because
think
that
it
would,
would be,
that
to
would
be fair.
literally be both of us going in blind because neither of us would know what was going on.
Well, yeah, I think it's something different, isn't it? So yeah, I'd agree with that. Be nice.
Just trying to put my
Be
notes
nice to
somewhere.
get somebody involved in it rather than just us two.
Yeah. Well, we have got somebody coming involved, mate. But
Yeah,
he's said he's coming in to do the Premier League prediction, even though he's a blue nose.
then I won't say too much until he's on. When he's on, I'll actually rumor about that one.
We love you, really, mate.
Oh, days.
Right. So, like we said, four drivers. Do we do one each?
Um, no, I think we go all four.
All four.
Yeah,
Okay. You want me to start or do you want to start?
No, go on. We'll let you go first.
So my Mount Rushmore, start again, is Michael Schumacher, Lewis Hamilton, Heinz-Harald Frentzen, and Ayrton Senna.
Okay.
Nico Hulkenberg and Niki Lauda were the ones that I kept crossing out and putting back in. But I thought Nico Hulkenberg, that's more of a personal choice than he's actually everybody's favourite. Niki Lauda was the hard one for me between him and Ayrton Senna.
Okay. So
Now you're gonna ask me why Heinz-Harald Frentzen now, aren't you?
I'm not, because I'm going to let you explain why you've got your 4 on there when I've picked my 4, so everyone can like see what's going on here. Because 2 that missed out for me that I was umming and ahhing like ridiculously over. One was Alan Prost.
Yeah, I know you like him.
Yeah. And the other one, like I say, was Jack Villeneuve. And I was just like, And as much as I wanted to try and find a way to get them on there, it just wouldn't have been right.
Yeah.
So my Mount Rushmore also has 3 of your drivers: Lewis Hamilton, Michael Schumacher, Ayrton Senna. And the one you crossed out, I have put in there, which is Niki Lauda.
Yeah, Niki Lauda was a hard one to drop for me.
I don't know.
I've probably got people screaming saying, why Heinz-Harald Frentzen, why not Niki Lauda?
I think you need to address that one before we go any further, because there will be a lot of people screaming, why, how. Some people might be saying, who?
So Michael Schumacher is obvious. Michael Schumacher to me is like a god of motorsport. He did so much. He came in such a young age, a bit like Lewis Hamilton, really. He went from a team, won a world title, went to a great team, and dominate the sport like Lewis Hamilton. Really, that's why I put Lewis Hamilton in there as well, because he's not just followed Michael Schumacher; he eclipsed Michael Schumacher. I think it's going to be such a shame, and this is going to be hard for me to say being a Schumacher fan, that Lewis Hamilton will never beat that record. He'll only, because I'm not being funny.
I think that's a good thing, personally.
You
Yeah, because we want this debate of who was the better driver, if Lewis Hamilton was to win an 8th world title, I think that ends the question for me of who is the best of all time. Because now you've got 2 people joint on 7 titles. You've always got a debate of Hamilton or Schumacher and why. If Hamilton was to win that one more, that question goes away.
Yeah.
So
I'd love to see Michael now. I know he came back and went to Mercedes, but Mercedes then wasn't great. And I'd love to have seen Michael against Max and against Lewis. Lewis in the prime Mercedes, Max in the Red Bull, and Michael Schumacher in his Ferrari. I think that could be an absolute epic shootout in qualifying.
It would be, wouldn't it? And this is the joy, but at the same time, a negativity of why drivers appear at certain times, why they do what they do. If you had all those greats at one time, I don't think the sport can evolve after that. I don't think it moves forward. So as much as we all like to put comparisons together, it is one of those subjects where you go, well, he dominated for this bit, he then took over from this, and so on and so forth. Because without that, like you say, you've got nothing to build.
No. Yeah, I mean, we had this conversation about, was it Mika Hakkinen the other day? And his comparison to Charles Leclerc, and it was like, how has he only won that many races yet? He won 2 world titles.
Again, I think a lot of that's down to races in the season, isn't it? Obviously, they have increased over the years. So, where a driver 15, 20 years ago would have had to have won, 16 Grand Prix. Now we're getting 23. So, you're getting 7 more Grand Prix a year. If you can win all of those 7, you're naturally 7 steps closer to someone that's done 2 world titles, as you say. So, it is difficult. But obviously, because you had Schumacher on your list as well, I had him on my list. Joint 7 world titles. At the time, before he retired, he held the record for the most wins, which is 91. At the time, it was. Most poles, 68. Most podiums, 155. And he also held the record for the fastest laps, which is 77.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
The
bet he's smashed
amazing
laps.
stat
That
that,
is cold.
yeah, see, amazing stat that I don't think many people will know. In 2002, Schumacher finished on the podium in every single race.
Yeah,
Now that is incredible.
yeah, and that's
308
why he's a
races
god
in
to me.
total.
That's why he's a god to me, mate.
Yeah. Like you say, how it, I would be surprised if everybody who's into F1 does not put him on a Mount Rushmore.
Nah,
Those figures alone are incredible.
yeah, yeah. I mean, people said he was in because he was in the Ferrari, but he did it. He won a race at Jordan. He won the
Yeah.
title at Benetton, Renault. You know, he went to Ferrari. He took a. It's like Nicky Lauda. Yeah, Nicky Lauda. He took a decent Ferrari and made it great. And I
Sometimes
think,
it's about the driver, though, isn't it? It's not about the equipment or the car. It's about the driver.
yeah, it's like I watched the documentary once after the crash that Senna was in.
Yeah.
They killed him, and he actually said, "I wanted to retire. I wanted to retire the car, but I was told not to."
It's mad,
That's
isn't it?
why. That's why when he was on the podium, he took his hat off and didn't celebrate.
It's a tough one.
Because
I think that's why now in Formula One, like any sort of thing with a car that's a safety breach, they retire it ASAP because like they can't afford things like that to happen again. It was devastation.
yeah, I mean, the last time we had a really bad, like, serious accident was Jules Bianchi. And to be honest, I think that what wasn't even the car's fault. That wasn't his fault.
No.
That was just bad planning.
But
Oh,
again, it
there's a
goes now back to the safety car incidents, doesn't it? And why they now make sure that the track is clear, the tractors and the cranes on the tractors are off the track totally because unfortunately for Jules Bianchi, that was the downfall of him, wasn't it?
Do you know what I don't want to say the word funny, but do you know what the weirdest part of that whole thing was? Jules Bianchi didn't die till 3 days later.
Yeah.
He hit that tractor head on,
Yeah.
literally head on, and survived for
It's
three
mad.
days. I don't even know how.
It is mad.
Yeah. So I mean, you've got Michael, I've got Michael, I've got Lewis, me. I mean, I showed you that slideshow thing about his dad, and I a few seasons ago I was never a fan, or not a fan of Lewis Hamilton. I just think he made the sport boring, bit like Michael Schumacher did. There you go. There's another comparison between the two.
Bit like Max Verstappen did.
Yeah,
It's one
pretty
of
much.
those.
I personally think, I mean, Lewis and Michael, I don't think they ever got found out. Whereas Max has got found out. You know, he can't. It was the car. I think. I mean, he's doing all right in what he classes as a donkey. But
I don't know. Would you say it's the car? Would you say Max has got more competitive drivers around him that have got the better ability? Because I think for Schumacher at the time he had a few, but not as many as in today. And same with Lewis to start with. He had drivers
yeah,
around him that were good, but it was three people between the title. Now there's 6 or 7 drivers that in a decent car could all go and win a
yeah,
title.
yeah, yeah. I mean, if you take a comparison, like Max has now got, let's say, Charles Leclerc, Lewis Hamilton, Lando Norris, Oscar Piastri, maybe George Russell at a push. You know, Michael Schumacher, Mika Hakkinen, David Coulthard, Rubens Barrichello, Jacques Villeneuve, maybe Heinz-Harald Frentzen in there at one point, and Lewis Hamilton. He really had like Nico Rosberg,
Yep.
Mark Webber,
Alonso.
Alonso, Sebastian Vettel. Thank you. It wasn't until you said Alonso I couldn't think of the other two, and then I was like, it's Vettel as well.
Yeah. And again, like I
But I
say, there's
think,
always been drivers, but like again, they are the best of those drivers, aren't they?
yeah, yeah,
But yeah, like I said,
and it's a,
he goes on my Mount Rushmore without a doubt. I mean, for a British driver to do what's done in the sport that no one ever thought was possible after Schumacher achieved it is
yeah,
again it's a statement in its own right. I mean, again, I've got stats here: joint 7 world titles with Schumacher. And again, obviously, because he's still racing, he now holds the record for the most wins, which is 105. Most poles, 104. Most podium finishes, 202. Most wins in a debut season, 4 as a rookie. That's impressive. Wins at the same team, 84. Most wins at the same circuit. Do you know which circuit it is?
British Grand Prix.
It is Silverstone. 9 wins.
Yeah.
9
I know
wins.
this was the first year he hadn't been on the podium since he started driving.
Yeah. And then again, most consecutive wins at the same Grand Prix. Do you know which Grand Prix that is?
I should do. Bahrain?
Nope.
Am I close?
Nope. It's closer to home.
Monza?
Nope.
Spain?
Yes. Spanish
Oh.
GP, 5 wins in a row.
Wow.
Between 2017 and 2021. He's also taken part in 368 Grand Prix, which is mad. Because, like I say, it's incredible. And again, it's that 7 world titles, 68 fastest laps, 202 podiums, 104 poles, 105 wins. Again, they're stats that say if you don't like the guy or you don't follow sport, those stats there alone tell you everything you need to know. That's why he has to go on my Mount Rushmore.
See, for people who don't follow the sport and have gone, oh, Lewis Hamilton, I've heard that name. Look at his story. Because me and Lou watching it, and his dad gave up so much discipline. Like you said, it's like, what did he say? No TV before you've done your homework, and you know you can't go and TV. And
for a guy to work 3 jobs, so his son could do something he enjoyed, says everything you need as a father. That is the ultimate dad for me. That is unbelievable. Putting everything, the sacrifice for himself, so his son could do what he wanted to do.
Well, look at the Australian GP this year when Isaac Hadjar went out.
Yeah.
And everybody was like, oh, he needs to suck it up. And Andy Hamilton just went over and gave him a hug. And it was like, I think it was probably one of the best things that happened to him, because since then, I think Hadjar has absolutely, he's well and truly improved.
He's turned the corner, excuse the pun. Yeah. But yeah, he's literally gone to that next level where he's got in a car now. He understands that, you can crash out. That is part of the job, but he seems a bit more focused. He seems a bit more engaged, and it's serving him well.
Yeah. I mean, look, to me, Lewis Hamilton, I think it was the end of last season when he had an interview after the last race of the season. You know, when Bono says, "Put that, it's hammer time."
Yeah.
And he got quite emotional when it didn't hit me until that moment. That was the last time I was going to hear them words.
Yeah.
And I was like, ooh. That hit me like in the heart sort of thing, because
you're used to hearing it, aren't you?
Yeah.
But yeah, that was that. I think, like, again, I think the move to Ferrari is just one of the. I don't think it was. How can I put this? I don't think it was a move he wanted to win this 8th world title. I think it was a move he wanted to say, well, I've drove for one of the best teams that have ever been around. It's that glowing report on a CV, isn't it? It's all right winning titles. It's all right racing for all these other teams, but everyone knows Ferrari is the team everyone wants to be at. So I think, and I do believe, hearing what I'm hearing, he will retire at the end of this season.
Yeah, he doesn't seem. I mean, he always said he once he loses the passion, he'd retire. And the more I hear him on the radio and the more I see him in interviews, he doesn't look like he's got that same flow he had when he left McLaren to go to Mercedes.
Well, no, but he's just been given the lead role for Drive, hasn't he, for the second series?
Yeah.
So he's going to fit. So again, I don't understand why I got. Well, to be fair, no, I do. Like I said to you the other day, a guy that earns £60 million a year in racing, but he's worth £480 million, is a smart businessman. So all these people that hate him and he's spoiled. He's not spoiled. He's invested his money wisely. He's a businessman. He's an ambassador. He's got a clothing brand. He can play the piano. I mean, like, his talent's endless. His talent is endless.
Yeah. Yeah. So like my third, I'm going to leave my other one till last. My third was Ayrton Senna.
Yeah. What a guy.
I just, Every time I think of Ayrton Senna, all I can think of is, was he famous? Is he like the Titanic? Was he famous because he died racing? Whereas the Titanic, was he famous because it sunk? Or was he just that damn good?
I think it's a bit of both. I think he was a good racing driver. Everyone knows that. But I think
Yep.
he went up in people's estimations and made that elite bracket because of what happened on the track.
Yeah.
I still believe if that didn't happen on the track, he'd go down as a great driver, but I don't think he'd go down as one of the greatest.
Yeah. Oh
So,
yeah. I think he'd still make people's Mount Rushmores, but not as many.
100%. I mean,
Um,
10 years in the sport before obviously lost his life. I mean,
yeah.
again, 3 world titles with McLaren. At the time of his death, he held the record for the most poles, which was 65, 41 wins across 11 seasons. I mean, and in 1988, he probably had the best season of his life. Senna and Prost won 15 out of 16 Grand Prix. That is just like, wow. So I've got a
Justification.
question for you on the back of that.
Go
Who
on.
was the team and the driver that stopped them winning 16 out of 16?
Who was the two drivers? Senna and who?
Senna
Prost.
and Prost, yeah. And they were at McLaren at the time. Well, it was McLaren Honda.
Ooh. John Lacey.
Nope. Right team, wrong driver.
Ferrari. I know it's Ferrari. I just can't think who it was. Gilles Villeneuve.
Nope. Don't forget, this is 1988, so
Yeah. Gilles Villeneuve passed away by then. I think. Oh God, Gerhard Berger.
it was, yes. The only man to stop him having an invincible season.
Wow.
Yeah, mad, isn't it?
First time I
So
managed to get that
again,
on my third attempt.
yeah. So again, Senna, 3 world titles, 19 fastest laps, 80 podiums, 65 poles, and 41 wins. Now, there's some people out there that'll be going, you've just read Schumacher's and Hamilton's. That ain't nowhere near. But again, 16 races back there, not 23, not 20. So,
Some of them were 12. Some
some
of
of
them
them,
were
oh,
12.
yeah.
So, and the points difference as well. I mean, they got what?
But
10
10
for
points,
winning
weren't it? Yeah.
instead of 25.
Top 10, weren't it? It was 10 down to 1. That was it.
Yeah. And that was literally, no, it wasn't even top 10, mate. I think it was top six.
Yeah. I think you're right, yeah.
Top six. If you finish seventh, like back, even up until I think it was like 2000, you still got no points.
Yeah. And this is like the bit I don't get where people compare. Oh, yeah, but he's got this many points. He only got that because the point system's different now. You could go you could have a good season like Hamilton's had, like Verstappen's had, like Norris is having now, and Piastri last year. Some of them drivers have eclipsed more points in a season than some of these legends have in 10 years of racing. So,
I think there needs to be a different in brackets, mate. I think there needs to be, like, when they say, like, in football where you got highest goal scoring game, post-war, pre-war, this
yeah,
needs to be like pre-2000, post-2000.
yeah, old system, new system. Yeah, I agree.
And so I'm guessing you had Ayrton Senna as well, yeah?
I did, yes.
So as you'd noticed, like, Louis is going to be the stat man from now on.
I just like things that back up my argument. Some
See,
substance,
mate,
but yeah.
I know bits. I have to look bits up, but sometimes it's like the three. It was like these are dead set. The fourth, I mean,
See,
my whole
I
page,
said, like,
my whole page is like crossed out, crossed out, crossed out, and it's literally the same name over and over again.
see, like the fourth one's one of those, isn't it? Like, I think you'll get a lot of people go two definites, third maybe, but the fourth one's open. He could be your favourite driver because you want him on that Mount Rushmore, which is, as I said, Jack Villeneuve is my favourite driver, but I haven't put him in there. And some people are probably thinking, well, your favourite driver, why haven't you put him in there? But when
Yeah,
I go,
last
but when I go through my last driver in a minute, and again you look at his stats, as good as Villeneuve was and I liked him, he doesn't compete on the stat side. So for me, like, he can't go on that Mount Rushmore. The Mount Rushmore is the greatest. So that's why I've
yeah. See,
But yeah,
all right, Heinz Held Frentzen, you ready for this?
go on.
Right, the reason I put him there is because he came in at such a young age. He was always a second driver, no matter where it went. Jordan, Williams, BAR. He was always going to be the second driver. Yet he always out qualified. He always outscored his number one teammate. And he just the way he drove it just reminded me. Ollie Behrman and Oscar Piastri remind me so much of him because they're so mature, and he was so mature driving as well. It's like his first team was Jordan, and he went no, where he was first team. Sorry, was Williams, where he was second to Jacques Villeneuve, and yet he beat him in many races. He beat him in qualifying. He went to Jordan, Damon Hill, and he beat him. He got 2 wins, I think, in the season they were together. Damon got 1, and that was in that race in Spa, I believe, where that massive pile up happened in the rain. Do you remember it in '99?
Yeah.
And then he went to BAR, where he went back behind Jacques Villeneuve in second place and beat him again. But you look at
And,
Jacques Villeneuve, he won 1 world championship, which is probably why he is a better driver than Hightail Frentzen. So is Damon Hill. But for me, he deserves to be up there because he's the unsung hero.
what's weird, like I say, is that I think I get why you've put him up there. I personally wouldn't, but again, for a young driver to come into the sport the way he did and do what he done, like you say, is first of all, it's incredible. But again, a lot of people won't realise that in, I think it was 96, 97, possibly, when he was with Williams, he finished runner-up in the World
Yeah,
Championship.
behind Jacques
Like,
Villeneuve.
yeah. And again, it just goes to show, you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
he's raced for some decent teams, you know. Probably not got as many wins as he would have hoped. I think he's only
No.
won, what, 3, 4 Grand Prix?
He won 5. He won 2 at Williams. He won 2 at Jordan, and he won 1 at BAR.
Yeah, see, so it's mad, isn't it? I mean,
Yeah,
he left Formula One and went into Le Mans, 24 hours of Le Mans, didn't he? Didn't
yeah,
that in 92 and 2008, I believe, for Lola and Aston Martin.
yeah. And to be
Best
able to
ever
do
finish.
that, you've got to be great.
Wow. Needed one, probably.
Yeah,
I think sometimes, like you say, they just get to that thing where they sort of go, I don't want to be number 2 anymore. I want to be a number 1. And, you know, unfortunately, he decided to leave and do his own thing. And fair play to him, you know, he's had a good career. I mean, what
yeah,
is he? I think sure he's, I might be wrong when I say this. I'm sure he's the same age as my dad. I'm sure he's 58.
yeah. He's not. I mean, his daughter's just got into Formula W.
Okay.
There was a TikTok where she went trying on my dad's old outfit, and it was the old Williams one. And then like she just sort of clicks her fingers like that, and she's wearing the same colours in the Formula W, sitting in the car.
That's mad, isn't it?
As she drives away, the caption says "Legacy never dies."
Facts, it doesn't, does it? It never does.
So I mean, she's only, I think she's 18, 19, something like that. That's his youngest daughter. Um, you
Yeah,
never know. There
you
could
got,
be another, there
you
could be
got
another
thinking.
Frentzen on the track soon.
It's what we want. It's what we want. But
Go on, and
yeah,
who's
so
your
like I said, I had Nicky Lauda. Again, racing, you know, obviously everyone knows about, well, not everyone does. If you're a Formula One fan, you will do. Obviously, the damage that was caused to his car and him being caught in the aftermath of all that. To go and mentally rebuild and have the mindset to get back in a Formula One car after that, knowing that that was probably the biggest scare you'll ever have in your life, knowing that that could happen again. To get back on the track shows determination and guts. We all know he loves F1. He's still around
yeah,
today, still does bits in the paddock, still helps out young drivers, old drivers, bit of advice here and there. And like, you have to commend that. So again,
he passed
from
it.
1971 to 79, before he had the accident, raced,
Yeah,
got back in for 3 years, 82 to 85. This is the weird stat, and people are probably saying, yeah, you've only put him on there for the sentimental
sentiment.
thing and obviously what he's been through. He won the same amount of world titles as Ayrton Senna, 3.
Yeah,
And it's like, okay. So when you look at Senna's records and you look at Lauda's, just to put them into perspective, it's just like, okay, so
Them two you can't compare them.
most
You
podiums,
can't compare them.
54. Only
Yeah,
driver to ever win a title with both McLaren and Ferrari.
yeah,
Again, another
yeah.
stat where you go, oh, wow. Took a 30k loan to secure a place in European F2 because he couldn't
Mental.
get funding, couldn't drive. That's how much he wanted this dream. And then the first Ferrari powered world drivers champion in 11 years.
Yeah.
In It's just like, wow. But like I said, he raced for 171 races. Again, the stats: 3 world titles, 24 fastest laps, 54 podiums, 24 poles, and 25 wins. And you just look and you go, okay.
He's
He-
still, to this day, in my opinion, mate, has had the best rivalry. And it was only one season ever, and that was against James Hunt.
yeah. And this
You
is what
know,
makes people special. You know, these are the moments that people remember and eclipse and always bring back to the moments where you see a clip of something, a reminder, and you just go, you know what? I'd forgot about that. How great was that? How great was
yeah.
this? But yeah, I mean, so between my 4 people on Mount Rushmore, I'm just going to give you the totals. So between the 4 of them, they have 20 world titles. They have 188 fastest laps, 491 podiums, 261 poles, and 262 wins. How can anybody argue with that, Mount Rushmore?
You can't. You can't, mate. You can't.
And for all them people that were saying, well, Jack Villeneuve's his favourite driver, why ain't he on there? I hope that explains why, because as good as
He only
Villeneuve
won one.
was, he's not got stats like this. So it's tough, but like I say, it's factual.
See, there's. Do you want to know who I crossed out?
Go on.
Right. So, Nicky Lauda, Nico Hulkenberg, Jenson Button, Mika Hakkinen. Those were the 4 that I crossed out. Because Mika Hakkinen, like you said, the rivalry, Mika Hakkinen and Michael Schumacher, for me, and then James Hunt and Nicky Lauda, the 2 that stand out.
Yeah.
Because neither of them hit each other. Neither of them tried to take each other out for fun. It was just pure racing, pure adrenaline. You know, people are probably sitting there going, what about Nico Rosberg and Lewis Hamilton? They took each other out too often.
Yeah.
You know.
It's funny you mentioned Hamilton and Rosberg, because obviously when we do the top 5 teams, I looked at that and I was like,
Yeah,
nope.
I looked at that one.
So I scribbled it out. I scribbled it out. But yeah, it's like I say, Mount Rushmore's, again, you might get someone that doesn't go down the basis of what we've done with stats and numbers. It might just be their 4 favourite drivers. So
That's
it's,
absolutely fine as well.
but this is what causes spark and debate, isn't it? And how you open a conversation with a bit of debate and differences of
Yeah.
opinions. So yeah, I mean, I had a few cross out, like I said. John Lacey was one. Nigel Mansell was another. Jack Villeneuve was another. I did have Button down as well. And the surprise one that people will probably look at me and laugh was Damon Hill.
Well, you had him down or didn't?
Yeah, I had him down, and I'm thinking like, why have I got Damon Hill? That is it just because he's British? Is it because he fought so hard to win that 1 world title? I don't know.
See, for me, Damon Hill would have made the list, but obviously there was a few drivers ahead of him. For reasons, obviously, he comes from the heritage. His old man was a world champion.
Yeah,
He was a world champion. He drove for Williams. He was so close the season before he won the world champion. It was like the last corner or something stupid like that where Schumacher took him out in Adelaide. I mean, that win in Spa in '99, that was
great.
probably in the rain and everything with all the crash and everything behind. And I think he started 8th or something like that.
I still say to this day that's the best drive I've seen from Damon Hill in my life.
Absolutely. I 100% agree. If you guys haven't seen it, type it in.
Oh,
It's the
for
first,
any
the
F1
first.
fan, if you haven't seen it, I'm surprised because everyone says Lewis is the king in the wet. I think Damon Hill on that day, it's like watching Lewis. He
Yeah,
just
and
didn't
J-Man.
own. Every braking zone was perfect. The
Yeah.
runoffs into the corners, the accelerator, everything was on point. And it was like the track was dry. That's how good he drove that day.
Do you know who else drove well that day, mate? He came second.
So
Do you know
say
who
that
came
again.
second? Do you know who came second that day?
1996.
1999. Who came second in the Spa-Francorchamps Grand Prix?
The way you're laughing, he better not be my mate Maldonado.
No.
Jesus Christ.
Mate, Maldonado probably wasn't even thought of then.
I was gonna say, 99. Not a clue.
Hightower Frentzen and the other Jordan.
Oh, okay.
It was the top three was Damien Hill, Hightower Frentzen, and Johnny Herbert. Johnny Herbert,
legend. Yeah, mad.
I mean, that season, Johnny Herbert had an amazing season. He won the British Grand Prix as well.
Yeah. Like I say, when you look at drivers individually and you probably look at a season only, there's quite a few that could make a Mount Rushmore if you only judge them on one season. When you look at careers, I think that's where it starts to narrow down, isn't it, and become a bit tighter.
Yeah, like you said, the top two for most people, it might not be our top two, but they'll lock it in.
Yeah.
Then the third one, they'll be like, I'll lock it in, but I'll see what fourth's going to do. And then they'll look and go fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth. Actually, third's fine.
Yeah, it's difficult. And again, like, you know, the way these four drivers have changed the sport, I think, like, not that the rest owe them something, but like, you have to be grateful that you've got great drivers at different decades and different times that keep propelling the sport and making more people want to get involved. And the only way I can probably describe that to people that don't understand is like the darts with Luke Littler. It was an emergence that come on the scene, and now all of a sudden we've got kids that are 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 that have never seen a dartboard in their life now want to be a dart player because of Luke Littler. That's the same as what you've got here with Schumacher, Lauda, Senna, Hamilton. They're the people that they look up to go, I want to do that.
Yeah. I mean, Michael and Ralph Schumacher, you know, Mick's looked up to them. Who was the other one? Vettel, Sebastian Vettel.
Yeah.
He absolutely idolised Michael Schumacher. Still does to this day, I believe. So when he came into the sport, Michael put his arm around him, and then when Mick came into the sport, Vettel put his arm around Mick.
Like you say, success breeds success, doesn't it? And I mean, again, Vettel's another one that some people might have on their Mount Rushmore. He had a few fair good seasons before Hamilton stole the reins. Good battles, you know, good driver. But yeah, it is tough. I'd like to see how many people like agree with the Rushmores who don't, and see some variation of theirs, and how they've gone about how they've put their four together.
Right. So,
but as I said to you the other day, the one person I will give a shout out to, and I can't stand the guy normally, is Max Verstappen. Obviously, that video I sent you of what he actually does for people that can't afford to cart out of his own pocket. I'm sorry, but you have to take your hat off to that. He's evolving the sport from his own pocket. Yes, he's got the funds to do it before anybody says, oh, well, he's rich, it don't matter to him. It's not the point. He's spending his money on other drivers for race gear, carts, boots, helmets, gloves, and putting them in a car into championships to race to try and have a future. That to me is commendable.
Doesn't need to do that, but he does.
No,
it's like Sebastian Vettel went at the end of the Hockenheim Grand Prix when he went round and helped people pick up the rubbish.
Yeah.
For me, I loved Seb at that point, and when he did that, I was like, "What a man! What a legend!"
It goes to show though how humble they are. Do you know what I mean? And I get the one person that gets a lot of criticism for this is Lewis Hamilton, about people say, "Oh, he's a jumped up prick." I'm sorry, for a guy that's from Stevenage, from a council flat, to get to where he's got to, you have to put some respect on his name.
Yeah.
If he wants to, go on.
If anybody wants to show the epitome of the best father in the world, you have to look at his dad.
Oh, 100%. How many dads do you know that would work 3 jobs doing 22 hours a day to fund their child's dream? Because there's not many.
You know, my dad worked many jobs just so that we'd have a great life growing up. But I think even he'd admit, like, you know, what Anthony Hamilton's done for his son. He's just, and the thing is, the fact that he pays it back now,
Yeah.
Lewis paid him back. It's like I joked with you and said, like, his sister missed like school trips and holidays.
Yeah.
So like he could pay for it. I'm hoping he's paid for his sister's, here you go, I'll pay for you to go to Australia for a year or
She's going first class, business class now.
what do you want about, mate? Private jet.
But you know what? I think sometimes though, when like you come from that type of setting, and not everybody, because there's everyone's stories and lives are different, but
Exactly, yeah.
coming from what he come from to what he's become shows the true testament of a guy that had a dream. His dad bought into the dream, understood that his son had a prospect and a future that could potentially be something. And between the two of them, worked as hard as they could to make that happen.
Yeah.
I mean, that's incredible.
Yeah.
So anyone listening to
Absolutely.
this that has just heard what we've just said, have the same mindset. Believe that anything you want in life can happen. You've just got to want it. You've got to show people you want it more than they do. And that, for me, is one of the biggest things in life.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, I
like,
think
his dad worked something stupid from like 5 o'clock in the morning till 2 in the afternoon. He then worked from 3 o'clock till 8 o'clock. That's 2 jobs. And then he'd go home and repair the car ready for the race the next day. You just think, where did this man sleep? Where did he have time to eat and breathe and just have 5 minutes for himself? And the answer to that question is, it's now. He's got all the time in the world because his son has bought him time freedom for all the sacrifices he made.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people, when the way Hamilton won his first world championship, when he went back and then he got it back into 6th place and everybody was going, oh, Massa deserved it. Maybe Massa did deserve it, but just to see his dad's reaction when he got 7th to 6th, who has ever celebrated 7th to 6th so much in their life?
As I've said to you, you normally get what you deserve. At that point in the race, Massa had done all he could do. He had a great drive, to be fair to him, kept himself clean, kept himself out of the way. I thought, you know what, fair play. If he wins it, he deserves it. Hamilton knew that he had to push for one more place. And not once did he concede. I mean, the corner before the final flag, and you decide to make that overtake.
Yeah. Nobody ever makes that overtake on that corner.
No. And you look and you go, that's the guy that risked everything for that one moment, and it paid off.
Right. Quick question for you. Hamilton doesn't win that world title. Does he go on to win the next one?
Yes, 100%.
Okay.
Not
See,
even questionable.
I'm 50-50. I maybe, yes, it'll make him stronger. He'll want to go and push on. Or McLaren will go, that was our chance.
Nah. I think the type of character Lewis is, because when he won the first one, he wanted another. He said, "I want this one's not good enough. I want another." He's a born winner.
Yeah.
And at the minute, it must be killing him not winning Grand Prix, not winning pole positions. Because for me, for going to do what he's done to where he's sort of falling down the pack now, is not a place he wants to be. But again, it's tough. But I think he's the only driver in history to win 5 Grand Prix, 5 World Championships in a row.
Yeah.
And a lot of that is down to Mercedes.
Yeah, and then you got Max with, is it 4
4
in a row?
Vettel got 4.
Vettel with 4.
Schumacher 4.
Yeah.
So yeah,
some great drivers around him, and I think, like I said, I think last season I looked at him, I went, "You've made the sport boring. I'm fine." It's like the season that he lost it on the last lap in Abu Dhabi.
Max.
Part of me was like, "Yes, we're gonna have a different world champion," but also part of me was like, "Well, that was savage. Why are you letting people who were in between them unlap themselves, but only a few?"
Again, see that day was like horrendous, because you look and you go, Max Verstappen was always going to be a world champion. Always. Yeah. The first one he got is controversial. Yeah. Because you either let nobody on lap and we go racing, or you let everybody on lap and then Lewis becomes 8-time world champion. So I get why they did it. They wanted that last lap to be good. But like, it's a tough. I understand Lewis and Toto Wolff going mad. I understand it, but as I said, if Lewis wins that, half these conversations we have disappear.
Yeah.
So for the future of the sport, I think it's good that he didn't. Was it a robbery? Probably.
Possibly, yeah.
To write a whole F1 rule book and scrap it and chuck it out the window for the sake of one race was outrageous. But
Yeah.
it gives us another talking point. It gives us another debate.
See, there's you say anybody at Abu Dhabi, the first season Max Verstappen wins the Grand Prix, all they remember is one, cars were allowed to unlap themselves in between Lewis and Max. Two, Lewis's team told him not to come and change the tyres, so he'd have brand new tyres because he was unworn.
Yeah.
And three, Toto Wolff screaming, Mikey, this is not right.
Yeah.
What they do not remember during that race is how wide Sergio Perez put his car to hold
Jesus.
Lewis Hamilton up at points.
Yeah. But again,
people go, oh, Sergio Perez is
isn't
an awful driver. That day, he became phenomenal.
Yeah. But he just put his car in positions where he knew it was impossible to overtake. And that would have been team orders before they got in the car. It's not going to be said over a radio. It's like, look, Perez, you're a team player. We will help you. We will fund you. We'll give you a payroll, whatever it might be to sweeten the deal. You need to protect Max today. And even then, he still couldn't do it. Lewis Hamilton still showed, I am better than what you're trying to throw at me.
Yeah.
But it is mad. That day was just like, wow. Wow.
If you Drive to Survive, we've watched it, but if you listen to Danny Ricciardo, he's behind Max Verstappen, and he goes, "Oh, can I unlap myself?" And he goes, "That's negative." So the cut for the first three cars, and he's like, well, "Why? Shouldn't it be all of us?" And I think even you could hear it in his voice. He was annoyed that this was going to happen.
Yeah. But the thing, like you say, it's again, they're all used to the rules. They all know them rules inside out. So when it's not a rule that's been adhered to, and then if that happens later on in the season and they don't adhere to the rule and then they're punished, it's a double-edged sword. They created massive controversy, and the F1 have to hold themselves accountable for that. For whatever reason they did it, whether it be the right reason, the wrong reason, it's regardless. Rules are there to be obtained and to be adhered to, not to be broken, especially by the people that make them.
Yeah. Ah, right. So that was our Mount Rushmore. Definitely, we're going to have to do another podcast. We won't do a part two because it's not like we're carrying it on. We'll do another podcast literally straight after this with our top 5 teams. I'm going to do a wardrobe change quickly because I'm absolutely sweating in this shirt. It's so warm. But it will be, what's the word I'm looking for? Poignant to what we're going to be doing.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, we got Villa repping. We need to go elsewhere for some repping.
I'm going to go put on another football top now just to mix it up.
People. Right, so yes, that was on Mount Rushmore. Both of them. Mine was probably a bit hand over and heart over head, but I did make some really good points. Lewis's was definitely stats.
It's all about opinions, isn't it? And you know, as we've said before, everyone has an opinion.
Yeah,
it's not right, it's not wrong. It's an opinion. That's right. If it was wrong or it was right, it'd be because it's a fact. And people's Mount Rushmores are all about opinions.
You know, somebody could come and go, "Wow, I really like Bortoletto and you know Trulli, two good drivers." But you know, sadly they don't make ours. But if they make yours, put them in the comments. We'll look at them. You know, we won't make. I hate it when you go on there and you get like the person who's made the comment and they make fun of like the comment and you're like, why? You've asked for their opinion.
Do you know what though? I've always said your opinion is literally that. It's your opinion. It's not somebody else's, and you should own your opinion. Whether it's right or wrong, or somebody tells you it's stupid, it's not, because it's your opinion.
Absolutely. But yeah, guys, put them in. Put your top 4. If you can't do a top 4 and you've got a 5th, stick a 5th in. I'm sure some of your cheers are out another head on Mount Rushmore.
Like I said, it opens a can of worms. It opens a discussion between us all, and you know, somebody might say something where you go, well, actually, yeah, I've got 4 from 5, but you know, I'm going to drop 4 and put 5 into 4, and that's my top 4. So yeah.
Or somebody's got, I've got my 4 set, and then they'll see a comment and go, oh, I forgot about him.
Yeah. Differences of opinions. That's all it is.
Absolutely. So yes, guys, we are going to leave you for a few minutes, and then we'll come back with the top 5 teams. Why we did the top 5 teams? This could be a two-parter,
It'd be
especially with the
interesting.
stat man here.
Right,
No,
then
I
we'll
love it, man. I love it when you come with that.
like I said, I don't always do it. Just like sometimes when you've got a debate and you're trying to get your point across, sometimes stats are the easiest way to go. But as I've said to you before, stats aren't necessarily true because you can pick a stat that backs your argument, but at the same time, doesn't mean it supports what you're trying to say is correct.
No, that's true.
So, stats are good for what you want them to be. If you want to pick up a negative stat, you'll pick up a negative stat. If you want a positive stat, you'll pick up a positive stat.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
Right. See you soon, guys. Thank you for listening to this podcast. Like we said, give us your opinion. We'll one day we'll do a reaction to people's predictions, people's opinions, really, because like we said, it opens a discussion, and that's what we love. Sports fans love discussions. You know,
We wouldn't have controversy and conflict if there wasn't anything to talk about. So, and the only way we can do a reactions video is by getting your reactions.
absolutely. I know there's a few people that might react to this one. One of them's just come off a holiday. Right then, guys, we will see you in the next podcast. Thank you for watching, listening. Louis, as always, it's been an honour and a pleasure.
Always, mate, and appreciate the viewers' times, and we'll see you all soon.
See you later.
See you later.